Had a couple business builders today on our all camp call talking about tough stuff that they're going through right now, challenges in the business. And one had to do with losing a key employee that was on top of losing a key employee prior to that. And the second person, both things were very sudden. And the second person, one because of death, actually, which is really tough. So you get the experience of death of somebody you care about. We have certain employees that are really beautiful to us. And I mean, all of your employees, to a degree, you probably think about as family, that you have some separation, but they're still like family, because I know the kind of businesses that you all run. But then there's some people that really we get close to, and they play an important part. And that's the kind of scenario we're talking about. And then the person who was there, who was trying to fill in, but probably wasn't quite suitable for that role, decided to leave. Like, I'm out. Peace out today. No notice. And so that's a real challenge. That whole situation is a real challenge. Other person that we were working with had a challenge around cash flow, had a challenge around some debt that had accumulated in the business and that the business owner was unaware of because there was an employee who was handling numbers and hadn't been clearly communicating about the accumulation debt. Now, of course, we can play armchair quarterback or backseat driver and say, well, you should have known. And this person said, I should have known. And next time there's some controls that I need to put in place and ways of checking on things that I was not. So anyway, hard situations, you get those. And when we get those, we get in a down place, just like every other human in the world that deals with adversity, right? Tough times, we start getting thoughts that are negative, and sometimes thoughts that are telling us a story about us and who we are. Sometimes thoughts that are telling us, like, I told you so, or, you're in its extreme form, like, you're a loser, you can't do this, you ought to quit, right? And one of the business builders on the call today pointed out that 96% of businesses don't make it past, I don't remember what the stat is, I'd have to go look, right? But we know, like, there's a high rate of failure. Well, and the conversation was, is that because people quit and don't get through it? Is that why? Or certainly sometimes just businesses weren't meant to work out, and so they don't. Or an event happens that was beyond the control of the owner, and then later on they go start another one. But perhaps some of it is because of endurance, not wanting to deal with the pain of those situations. So together we were collaborating and helping to deal with the pain, right? Also, this brings to mind, what do you do when you're in a situation like that? Well, how do you behave proactively? How do you get out of it? And there's a concept that we talk about. I've shown you all the ladder of consciousness. So this is my ladder, right? Rung of the ladder, climb the ladder. So we got the goal line, the line of achievement, and then we got the ladder of consciousness. Inside, heart and mind and soul. How am I doing? My ladder of consciousness. Am I down at the bottom of the ladder, spiritual death and fear, or and anger, fear, spiritual death, or am I at the top of the ladder where there's flow and creativity and proactivity and action, right? Where am I on the ladder? And during the call, one of the two, I'll call them afflicted, because it is like afflicted, the ones who are in the barrel for right now, business owners, said, I've been in places like this before. Not exactly this place, but I know I've been in places like this before, and I've worked through it, right? Also, all of you have created from places where you weren't in a bad spot, but you just have created. You're business builders, you're creators. That's what you do. You take visions in your head, you communicate it to people, you go find resources, you learn, you get support, and you create something from nothing. In times when you're in a challenging spot, it is good to get up the ladder. How do you get up the ladder? You think about times where you've created something. You think about successes. You think about times, and think more at the end of the hard times. Think about the victory on the other side. You get in that spot, you have your tablet, your notebook, your journal, whatever you use, and you go in your brain to that place where you've solved problems, where you've been victorious, where you've created something from nothing, a grand opening. Bring that stuff to mind. And from that place, now you think, what are some options? What are some things I could do? What are some ideas? How might I go find another employee? Who could I ask? Who could I tell about this job opening? Who knows somebody who might know somebody? What might I do about to create some money, to create some cash, to pay off some debts? How might I move some money around? You're more creative when you're up on the ladder and when you've gotten in that positive spot than when you're down in the dumps. And we know that, and yet sometimes we choose to dwell down in the bottom. One of the things that really helps is to get around a group of people, which is what the business builders did today by coming to a call, being honest, being open, being willing to shed some tears even, and get some help and support from their peers. Now, or from their peers, not from tears. Help and support from their peers. Now they're in a spot where they're more likely to access the best, brightest, most intelligent form of themselves. So, work to be up the ladder, friends. Go get them.